Let's look at the top Googled Identity 5 questions. Identity 5, how to add friends. There are two different ways you can add friends in Identity 5. One of the ways is of course just giving your friend your ID or giving them your exact name. Some names in Identity 5 are a little bit difficult to copy because they use special types of symbols, and of course remembering your own ID is quite a long number because it's quite difficult to remember those things. So one of the easiest ways, and a way that not a lot of people know about, is using the face-to-face add option. This option is right on the add friend section on the right, just underneath your massive portrait. If you click that and you tell your friend a 4-digit number, like for example 111, and you both put it in more or less at the same time, then you'll be able to see yourself pop up. Multiple people can do this all at the same time as well. So if you want to do a group add, everyone can just put the same 4 numbers in a row and you'll be able to see everyone pop up on the list, so you can add them one by one. Identity 5, how to get clues fast. I've done a video similar to this in the past, but the best way to get clues fast is by playing characters with incomplete deductions. By this I mean a character that have some deduction missions that you just haven't completed yet. Let's say you haven't played Magician for a while and some of his missions say, hey, use the wand 3 times to escape the hunter. By completing these missions, you will get extra logic points than you usually would at the end of the match, meaning that you'll be able to get more dice that will then give you more clues by you completing more of the logic path. Another really good way of getting clues is participating in events, especially the big ones like the anniversary that's going on right now, where you can get tons of clues just from participating. One of the less obvious ways of doing it is by checking out the giveaway that I'm doing right now. The link to the giveaway will be in the comment section. And by doing this, you'll be able to get onto the official Identity 5 NGP Discord server, where they do tons of giveaways, especially of clues and stuff like that, by just you being there. And they also just give you stuff for free. Identity 5, how to continue story. I guess it means to continue the story after the tutorial, that I think is something that NetEase is kind of lacking on a little bit. One of the ways of doing that is by downloading the story patch, but one of the best ways I think to continue the story is to complete characters' deductions that I of course was talking about before, those little missions that you have to do per character. By completing all of their deductions, some characters have extra story modes that you can play as the character in the manor to learn about some of their story and their life within the manor. This is a great way of learning your character. NetEase does add more stories to characters every year so that you can learn more about those characters that you love the most. Another great way of getting some more story, if you're a lore fan, is by participating in the yearly events. Last year we had the Time of Reunion, and this year we're going to be getting the Ashes of Memory event that's coming in December. This is going to be heavily connected to the Manor story, and I think also to the detective story, as we'll find out soon enough. Identity 5, what is ping? This is a good question actually, and I think a lot of people don't really understand what ping is. They just know it's either good or it's bad and it slows the game down or it speeds the game up for you. Well, ping is that little number at the top of your screen that indicates the time it takes data from your phone to get to the server, that is Identity 5's or NetEase's server, and then that data to return back to your phone. It technically is just how long it takes for that whole transfer action to happen. What this dictates for the match is how far behind you are time-wise compared to the server time. What is happening in the match at the real server time and what your phone screen is seeing, and how far behind you are compared to that server. So technically, if you are 100 or 150 milliseconds behind, you are technically 150 seconds behind real times. You're going to have to wait 150 milliseconds to find out exactly what happened at every frame interval. The lower the ping means the closer you are to real time. So if you live in North America, then you're seeing things much closer to how things are really happening in the game. Meanwhile, if you live somewhere in the east of Europe, then you're going to be seeing things quite a lot later than someone who's living in America, even if it is only in milliseconds. Identity 5, what is it about? It's mostly a catwalk game with a way to bully people by like slugging them on the floor, I think. That's mostly what this game's about, right? No. Identity 5, as most people know now, because of course you're watching this video, is a 1v4 asymmetrical horror game where you have to play as either a hunter or a survivor to escape if you're a survivor, or to eliminate all of the survivors if you are the hunter. There are a lot more other complicated things connected to that, but everybody knows that already. Identity 5, how to get characters. Well, of course, you can buy them by getting tons of clues by following the instructions I just gave, or you can complete the tutorial, because they've actually recently revamped the tutorial where you get even more free characters by doing the beginner event. This will give you 1 or 2 more characters than you usually used to get from when I first started playing, and it also gives you tons of trial cards for you to test out other characters for long periods of time. And if you're lucky, maybe in the Ashes of Memory event they might give us free characters like they did last time with the Time of Reunion, where we got Novelist and Nightmare for free. Identity 5, which survivor to buy? Everyone keeps on asking me this, either in the Discord server that you should definitely join, or in the live streams that you should also join. And if you aren't seeing those live streams, then you need to subscribe. But my answer is always the same. I don't want to give you the character and tell you the character that you should buy. The best survivor to buy is the one that looks most interesting to you. But if there are multiple characters that you're torn between and you're not sure which one you should go for first, and you're worried that you're going to miss out on the best character by picking the other one, and you think that I can tell you, well, the easiest way to solve this is by using temporary unlock cards that you can get pretty easily in the game to be able to test out the characters in matches to get a feel for what it's like to really play them before you buy them. By getting these characters and testing them out, you'll know exactly which characters you want to pick. But if you're looking for some meta characters, some more competitive characters, then it's probably a good idea to go and check out some people's tier lists that are high tier players to find out which characters are best to play. Identity 5, Best Survivor 2022. This is actually a really tough question. It might be easier to talk about the best hunters for 2022, but I think that the best survivor is probably between either Priestess, Seer, or Mercenary. Different people may agree or disagree with these picks and to say that, oh, this one's more than the other one, this one is clearly the winner, Seer being banned the most, for example, but I don't know which one really is the best. Priestess has received a small nerf recently, and so have Seer, and I'm not sure if a Mercenary hasn't really received one for a while, but these are definitely the most consistent and most seen in competitive gameplay. They all have different reasons, Priestess having a jack of all trades ability of just being able to teleport people around and teleport herself around and being almost impossible to chase in the early game, Seer being able to extend kites that's really powerful, and Mercenary just being overall the best rescuer. There are different reasons for why each character could be the best, but that is my answer. Identity 5, Best Decoder. Now, maybe a couple of years ago, the obvious answer would have been Mechanic, and some people will still argue that that is the case, but in my personal opinion, I think the best decoder currently is Prisoner. Prisoner got a buff last year or this year that made him much faster at decoding and much stronger overall. Actually, he got multiple buffs, making him a really strong and consistent kiter if he needs to stay alive, but also just a general decoder because he can decode different places on the map at the same time. But I do think that Mechanic is a close second, and everybody else I'm not completely sure. Identity 5, who is the best hunter? Well, of course, it's Hellumber, according to the lore at least, no? Well, if you want to talk about something that's not the lore, well, I think currently this year, as the time of this recording, it is either Dreamwitch or Breaking Wheel. Dreamwitch has still been the top hunter for such a long time, and Breaking Wheel is kind of a recent addition because of his ability to be able to have tons of different things and fast ways of getting people down. Dreamwitch just has the map pressure that is crazy, especially in the endgame. And we are slowly starting to see the rise of other hunters, as we see that Clerk, who has recently come out, is starting to climb up a little bit, although I'm still not sure if she is S tier. And Sculptor has been on and off as whether she's the best or the second best or the third best, but Dreamwitch and Breaking Wheel, in my opinions, are the top. If you want to find out exactly who is at the top and who is the best hunter as of the time of you watching this, then you should make sure to go and check out different Identity 5 content creators that talk about high tier gameplay, so you can check out their tier lists. Lots of people like to do these types of videos. Identity 5, Best Persona. I think the answer is Borrowed Time, because 99.9% of people take it, and if you don't take it, then people will criticize you. Borrowed Time is just how the game is played currently, and a lot of people will argue that that's not true, but it is exactly how we play the game, and the meta is based around that. I would say that Titana is probably a close second, with Exit Path also being either second or third place. Maybe one day we should discuss exactly why. Identity 5, Best Beginner Survivors. If you don't know which survivors are best for beginners, then you definitely need to watch this video here, because I did a video about this very topic.